Sabres Hockey is brought to you by First Niagara, the official bank of the Buffalo Sabres. Labatt Blue Light, the official Canadian import of the Buffalo Sabres. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York, the official health plan of the Buffalo Sabres, reminds you that healthy changes everything. Your local Toyota dealer. Where will Toyota take you? Test drive one at your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Closed captioning for Buffalo Sabres broadcast brought to you by Buffalo Hearing and Speech Center. Better hearing starts at Buffalo Hearing and Speech Center, serving Western New York for 60 years.
Welcome back to Denver. It's the last home game for the Avs before the Olympic break. Today they are honoring Olympic-bound players Matt Duchene, Gabe Landeskog, Paul Stastny, and Semyon Varlamov.
The 2014 Winter Olympics begin this month, and today we are honoring those individuals who will be representing their respective countries in Sochi, Russia. First, coaching Team Latvia, Sabres head coach Ted Nolan. From the Buffalo Sabres, playing for Team Latvia, forward Zemgus Girgensons. Playing for Team Sweden, Sabres goaltender Jonas Enroth. And also for Team Sweden, Sabres defenseman Henrik Talinder. And finally, playing for Team USA, he was the MVP at the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver, Sabres goaltender Ryan Miller. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to recognize 4 Colorado Avalanche players who will represent the organization in Sochi. This forward will be making his first appearance at the Olympic Winter Games. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Team Canada, Avalanche center Matt Duchene. This forward is making his first appearance at the Winter Olympics, representing Team Sweden, Avalanche captain Gabriel Landeskog. This goaltender will be making his second appearance at the Olympic Games, having already represented Team Russia at the 2010 Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the host nation, Avalanche goaltender and Russian Olympian Semyon Varlamov. This forward will be making his second appearance at the Olympic Winter Games, having already helped his country win a silver medal in 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the United States of America, Avalanche center and alternate captain Paul Stastny. Avalanche fans, please join us in congratulating all the Olympians represented here today and wish them the best of luck in Sochi. Presenting the colors for today's anthem is the Lakewood Police Department Color Guard. Now, please rise, kindly remove your caps, and join us for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed this afternoon by Jake Schroeder.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This is game number 135 all time between the Buffalo Sabres and the Colorado Avalanche. Here at the Pepsi Center, Dan Dunleavy, Rob Ray, Brian Duff, Brad Meyer, our entire crew with the MSG Network. Glad you could take time to join us on this eve of the Super Bowl. The city gearing up for that. We gear up for our starting goaltenders. Brought to you by Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop. Great tasting food, amazing prices. Ryan Miller, 3-1-1 in his last 5 road games. A .944 save percentage and a .195 goals against average. This is the one team, however, that Ryan Miller is not defeated yet in the National Hockey League. Down the other end, Semyon Varlamov. His career against Buffalo, 4 games played, 3 wins, 1 shootout, and a 2.45 goals against average, setting new career highs this season with 27 wins. This broadcast is brought to you in HD by the new Stereo Advantage. Visit the new Stereo Advantage, located on Worley Drive behind ECC North. Referees tonight, Justin St. Pierre, Ian Walsh, Scott Driscoll, Mike Civic are the linesmen. We're underway with the Sabres in the road whites and attacking from left to right in this opening period with the puck down in the Colorado zone. It'll be Hodgson working behind the net. McKinnon on his shoulder, centering pass to Steve Ott right in front of the net. Couldn't get her shot away. Puck bounces off the end boards. Ott playing it to the corner. Comes back to the point and flipped out in a race for the puck now as Landeskog gives chase. And Tyler Myers starting as one of the opening 5 for the Buffalo Sabres. And Myers now right wing, just shy of center. Drop back into the Buffalo zone, and Linder will backhand it deep into the Colorado zone. And Rob, you talked about short shifts. The change is on now for Buffalo, and Ennis working in the corner, trying to get it back to the point. He does. Ruedel shot that one, just drifts wide. Comes back to the far point. Ehrhoff back in the lineup. Plays it down into the corner. Ruedel comes down the right side. Takes a big hit from McGinn, but he keeps the puck deep in the Colorado zone. Now Ennis, right wing corner. Looks back to the point. Turns back down low with the puck under the goal line. He'll leave it there at the side of the right wing boards for Flynn. He's hit. Plays the puck deep, and now the Avalanche will come back. Matt Duchene, speed to the line, but he lost the puck, and McGinn gains the zone offside.
Well, great job by the Sabres early, keeping the puck in deep, working along the walls. They weren't able to generate chances from it, getting it to the net. They had a couple point shots, missed it. Steve Ott got handcuffed by a great pass in front early, but nevertheless, they're getting it down low, they're working, and that's exactly where they need to be. They got to spend a lot of time there, but also, like you said, short shifts here early. Got to get everybody involved in this game as soon as possible and keep them involved.
Sabres in their own zone. Matt D'Agostini ahead for Verone. His quick pass in over the Colorado line. The Sabres look to set it up with Foligno. Tip in front, and that one just wide off the stick of Verone. He's standing in the high slot, trying to tip that one by Varlamov. Sabres puck back in their own zone, but Buffalo with possession. D'Agostini deep between the 2 circles to get it back for his club. And as we approach just 2 minutes into this opening period and no score, Jamie McBain back in the lineup. Plays it up on the right wing side. Second game in a row that Jamie's been back in. He logged the most number of minutes for the Buffalo Sabres in Phoenix against the Coyotes. And that was when Christian Ehrhoff was not available to play in the lineup. Weber plays it back towards his own goal. And Buffalo again will get another change in. McBain will be patient in behind the net. Pass banked off the left wing boards. Linder sends it the length of the ice. This will be an icing call against the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, the Sabres early in this hockey game need to win draws, and that's exactly what they've done. Win the draw, gain possession of the puck, and not waste energy chasing. You see right here, Verone gets the draw. Sabres able to back up a little bit. But a couple quick passes, bang, they're moving up through the zone, entering the Colorado zone with ease, and had a great shot, missed the net there, but a nice job throwing the puck to the net, hoping somebody was driving through. neither team's registered a shot at this point.
Face off the Buffalo zone. John Scott back in the Sabres lineup. Plays it off the left wing boards, and Konopka and Ellis keep watch as the Avalanche and Wilson deep in his own zone. Cross ice pass, right wing side, and the shoot in behind the net. Ryan Miller out to play it. Puck settles in the near corner. Duchesne trying to keep it deep. The battle against the boards against Talinder. Duchesne on his backhand brings it into the circle, but Konopka gets in his lane, takes the puck away, and sends it up through center. Too far for Ellis. Bounces over a stick and icing against Buffalo once again. We invite you to stay tuned for the Karuba Collision coming up later in this game, and you can go to Sabres.com, vote in the Karuba Collision of the Year, where you have a chance to win season tickets for next season. Ryan Miller will crouch down and look off to his left. It's amazing. This is the only team, Rob, in the NHL that Ryan doesn't have a win against for his career.
Well, it's been 8 years since the Sabres have actually beat Colorado.
Been a while since they've been here. Landeskog out there again. Here's a shot that's fired wide by P.A. Parenteau back in the lineup. Avalanche setting up behind the net. Big hit as Myers takes out the star rookie on this team, and Nathan MacKinnon. Here's a shot. Miller with a save off to his left. Loose puck side of the net taken to the far corner. This line will generate a ton of chances as Parenteau gets a chance with Stastny out of the lineup to play with these two, and the Avalanche back into their own end. Jan Hejda, quick pass, and that one Willie Hodgson got a tip on. Goes up into the crowd just at center ice.
Now Tyler Myers using his body and size down low and doing it clean. And this is what you got to do. Nathan MacKinnon, like you said, is one of the young stars on this hockey team. These are the type of guys you need to lean on. You need to hit them early, hit them hard, and hit them often. And you hope you can take them out of the game a little bit. But nice job by Myers down low at this point.
Matt Duchesne will play it back into the Colorado end. Out there along with Ryan O'Reilly. Avalanche, a lot of speed in the lineup. Sabres will try to slow that down. The shoot into the Buffalo zone. Now here's a chance, far side. Rylan Miller the save. Second chance again by Duchesne. Miller makes a stop. And now it's Philly Lane who plays it ahead. And Chad Rueda will fire it in. Varlamov got a piece of it. And the puck settles in the far corner to his right, deep in the Colorado zone. Rueda backing up, right point, keeps it in, far side. Ehrhoff fakes the shot, now just tries to get one on net, and that deflects.
Now Ryan Miller's been called upon here early, and it was a turnover by pressure by McGinn on Ehrhoff. Right here, he comes down the wall. Ehrhoff hesitates a sec. He's able to poke the puck by, and it's going to go to the far side of the net where Matt Duchene's going to get a couple whacks at it, but Ryan Miller gets himself tight to the post. There was no room for that puck to get through.
Face off to Varlamov's right-hand side. And as Flynn and Girgensons get the puck to the side of the net, now behind the goal. Working out of the corner here on the right wing side. Protecting the puck as he does so well. Sabres rookie Girgensons takes a hit, keeps it under the goal line though. Still deep in the Colorado zone. Flynn picks it up, plays it back to the far point, and Weber can't keep it in. Now has to race all the way back into his own zone. And he's got some company. Quickly moves the puck for McBain. That'll be one of the keys for Buffalo here this afternoon. Don't keep that puck on your stick for a long time in your own zone because the Avalanche are coming. Right wing pass to center. Flynn will carry it in over the line, take a bump, but continue on. Ennis trying to center for Flynn. Now it's back to McBain with a shot. Flynn's side of the net tied up. Penalty coming up against the Avalanche. So Ennis with the rush. And Flynn in front of the net, drawing the penalty for Buffalo.
Zemgus Girgensons once again coming out early in this hockey game. And doing what he has to do right here off the draw. They jump the gun here. Bang, he gets down low, and you see how strong he is. He gets knocked around 3 or 4 times, gets one hand on the stick, sometimes 2, but he just rotating it back and forth, just waiting for something to open up or to somebody to lose contact with him. And he does a heck of a job. The puck ends up coming out of the zone, but you're going to see the hook right here in front. And Nick Holden's going to get his stick on Brian Flynn. He's gone to the box for hooking.
So Sabres onto the power play, the 26th ranked power play in the NHL, and without Matt Molson as the puck off the draw to Varlamov, he'll hold on. Matt with 8 power play goals. Cody Hodgson next on Buffalo's roster with 6. This Sabres penalty is brought to you by New Wave Energy. Visit nwavenergy.com to join the power behind the Buffalo Sabres. Use offer code SABRES. Face off again in the right wing circle. Puck played back to the point. Pass across is intercepted, and the Avalanche will send it down the ice. Avalanche PK tied for 15th in the NHL. They do have a couple of shorthanded goals this season, courtesy of Talbot and Tanguay, who's not in. Here's a pass down the left wing side, shot from the circle, to stop by Varlamov. Good chance for Steve Ott, the captain, on that rush. Sabres sent all the way back into their own zone. Avalanche have allowed a power play goal in 4 of their last 6 games played. So still trying to tidy up that aspect of the game as Cody Hodgson gives chase down to the right wing corner in the Colorado zone. Puck comes up the boards halfway, back to the line, bouncing puck. Nice play by McBain to keep it in. Here's Ennis now, right wing corner with it. Stands at the goal line, played back to the point. McBain walks to the middle a bit, pass off to Ennis, right side. Fired that one high, trying to go over the far shoulder. Puck comes back to the point. Ruedel sends it down for Hodgson, who plays it under the goal line. Cody sets up now in the far corner. Puck comes back here to the near side, and the point for McBain. Power play with 50 seconds left in it. Shot far point, rebound in front, off the save. Comes to the face-off dot, and the puck bounces away to Mitchell, who will carry it down to center ice. And he's going to weave his way in over the Buffalo line. And John Mitchell will turn it back and send it all the way back into the Colorado zone, eating up some valuable time. Sabres will change as Ryan Miller gloves down a high shoot in 30 seconds to go in this Buffalo power play. No score first period if you're just joining us. About 6.5 into it here in Colorado. Cody Hodgson down the left wing boards. Can't get on the puck. Here comes Max Talbot in transition, shorthanded. I mentioned he's got one of the shorties this year. Takes the shot, and Ryan Miller reaches out with the glove hand to hold that one.
Now, earlier in this power play, the Sabres get a great opportunity. Chad Ruedel just one times this puck. He's got the man in front. D'Agostini not able to find the rebound. And Max Talbot coming down shorthanded here, cuts to the middle. Uses Myers as a screen, tries going back across the grain to catch Ryan Miller. But Ryan was dialed in, he stayed right with it, made the glove save for the faceoff.
Verone face-off win in his own zone. Myers for Verone out of the corner here on the right side. Drop back. And the rush now to the Buffalo blue line with a pass on the right wing to center. Marcus Foligno trying to lead his way deep into the zone. Power play now expires, and we're back to even strength as it's the Avalanche getting the Buffalo zone. Puck bounces in the far circle. Landeskog gets it back again. Right wing corner, shot deflects off a skate. Comes all the way to the boards near side. Parenteau pass to the far point. Avalanche looking to get traffic in front of the net. Puck comes down here in the near boards. Avalanche left wing side. Parenteau looking far circle, and the puck bounces. No shot there, but a great setup by the Avalanche. We have 12:43 to go on the first. Moving the puck around with the likes of Tyson Barrie playing back to the point now, along with Ryan Wilson, who's back into the mix. Sabres under the goal line in their own zone. Myers trying to clear. That one is knocked down. Here's a pass into the far circle. No shot. Scores off the rebound. McKinnon with a first shot. Tyson Barrie followed up.
Now Tyson Barrie stepping in, picking up some garbage on the side of the net, but he makes no mistake on the backhand, putting it up and over Ryan Miller just underneath the bar. Some good traffic down low. Some guys just kind of standing up. You got to tie him up here, guys. You got to find that man. You just can't assume. You got to get your stick on him, prevent him from getting there. Tyler Myers tried to get to him, but this backhand, watch this. He doesn't waste any time. Puts that right over the shoulder of Ryan Miller, who came across on his knees. And it was a perfectly placed shot by Tyson Barrie.
That's Barrie's 7th of the year. Now give him 5 points in his last 4 games played. Number of Colorado players. And their record would reflect the fact that a number of guys are on some real point rolls right now when you look at who's hot on this team. Benoit from the center ice red line sends it into the Buffalo zone. And sent deep into the zone by Ryan O'Reilly. Sabres get the puck back again, and we've got a penalty on the play. Duchesne knocked down as Buffalo is coming out of their zone. And Matt Duchesne just gets up inside the Buffalo blue line. Right now, it's the Avalanche, courtesy of Tyson Barrie with a 1-0 lead. The Ford dealers of Western New York replay brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost, built Ford tough.
Mike Weber in the box for high sticking here. 4 minutes on Matt Duchesne. You see it right there in the side of your screen. I think he's looking to try to reach out, get his stick to prevent him from coming across to get Hudson. And he misses everything, takes Duchesne right up underneath the chin. And there was enough blood for the referee to make a 4-minute call instead of a 2. So the Sabres got a big kill here.
This Buffalo Sabres penalty kill brought to you by Napa. Napa has the know-how. Face-off will be in the Buffalo zone to the left of Ryan Miller. And the power play right now for the Avalanche, tied for 14th in the NHL. They have 4 power play goals in their last 10 games played. So special teams have not been lights out. It's 5-on-5 against Colorado that they have been just incredible. And off the face-off, it's Myers sending the Avalanche all the way back down into their own end.
Yeah, the Avs, the last 5 games are 1 for 15 on the power play.
Avalanche gain the zone. Scooty Duchesne out with O'Reilly. Comes back to the line. There's a shot that's deflected wide easily. Erik Johnson, he has 1 point in his last 10 games played coming into this one. Speaking of players that are not hot, Parenteau now from the left point, works halfway down the boards, plays it back to Johnson. High slot, shot saved by Miller. Rebound right in front of him to Leader. Nice job to get there, and he's able to clear it off the boards, left wing side. We talk about short shifts, Rob, on special teams. That'll be a vital moment.
Oh, you have to. You have to keep them out fresh. Every time that puck goes down the ice, you should try to at least get the 2 forwards changed. 2 forwards first, and then the second time you could switch to defense.
Miller will leave it side of the net, trying to play it around to Foligno here on the near boards. Can't clear, kept in. Parenteau again. Pass over to the far point. Shot stopped by Miller again on the loose puck. Played back to Benoit on the right wing boards. He just knifes it behind the net on the backhand. Clearing attempt kept in by Parenteau one more time. O'Reilly on the boards. He's closed down by McBain. Puck still stays along the wall here near side. Now Ronnie gets it free. Duchesne can't keep it in. Nice job by Marcus Foligno as he pokes that one down the ice. Varlamov way out of his goal to leave that one for Benoit, who will now leave it behind the goal. And Tyson Barrie, who's got the goal, will bring it up to center ice. Benoit lifts it in. Mitchell too far for him. Tallinder gets there first. Puck comes to the near side. Still along the boards in the power play with 2:22 to go in it on this 4-minute high sticking call against Buffalo. Here's Tallinder with a chance to send it down the ice, and he does. And Varlamov again will leave it at the side of the net for Barrie. Barrie, short pass ahead. Avs now with Landeskog on the Buffalo line. Myers stands him up and sends him to the ice. Myers chasing the puck down in the near corner along with Hunt. Landeskog comes up with it. Back to Barrie at the near point. Takes it to the center of the zone. Pass to the left circle. Landeskog in front. McKinnon can't pull the trigger. Mitchell fires it wide of an open net. Benoit behind the net. McKinnon, the rookie goal scoring leader in the National Hockey League, also leads this team in power play goals scored this year. Here's Barrie, top of the zone, plays it off to the right-hand side. Gets it back again, but has to receive on his backhand. Landeskog, left circle. Couple of steps into the circle before he's closed down again. A nice job by Myers all over Gabriel Landeskog. Puck played down to the goal line. Here comes a big hit along the boards, and standing up against Tyler Myers. Don't see many players able to do that. Mitchell will go to the bench after that collision. 1:10 remaining in this power play for the Avalanche. 1-0 Colorado. Even strength goal. Tyson Barrie, the only marker so far. Just underway, now to center. Duchesne dances in. Nice moves. Gets to the slot. And then it's cleared down the ice by Marcus Foligno. Dangerous rush there for a moment, but the Sabres kind of held that box positioning and didn't give him too far to go. Now it's McGinn down the right wing boards into the Buffalo zone. Puck in behind the net. Sabres have it. And Tallinder with some speed to his own blue line. Up through center ice. Girgensons lost the puck and almost goes for a wheelie at the Avalanche blue line. We'll go to the Buffalo bench with 28 seconds left and the penalty kill for Buffalo. Duchesne takes a drop pass to the Buffalo line. O'Reilly pass. Parenteau drops it off far side. Trying to come back to Duchesne near post. Pass was on his backhand. Avalanche keep working it around. Shot for the point is tipped in. Jamie McGinn parked at the near post. And it'll be a power play goal. 14 seconds were left in that power play. 2-0 Colorado.
Well, the Sabres did a heck of a job for that whole power play. And realistically here, not much other than the D-man, Jamie McBain, having a tough time getting back after taking himself out of the play on the far wall. Cannot get back quick enough to the front of the net. You see Ehrhoff standing there by himself, kind of in the middle, deciding what way I should go because McBain was not there to pick him up. And it allowed McGinn just to redirect that puck past Ryan Miller, getting his 13th goal of the season here.
I talked about Erik Johnson on a bit of a point drought. So now you give him 2 points in his last 11 games with that shot from the point. And it's remarkable the way he plays that he has been on such a drought, you figure he'd be getting those shots through with more regularity. Off the face-off, the Avalanche with Hayda back in his own zone. Drops it back, and it's sent up off the boards by Nick Holden. Avalanche keep it in. Another shot, far circle, stopped by Ryan Miller in the rebound. Knocked down, and Mitchell trying to take it back towards the blue line. Played under the goal line, deep in the Buffalo zone. Sabres get it back again, and it's Tyler Ennis with a backhander out towards center ice. That's knocked down, and Talbot meets Ruedel at the Buffalo blue line, and the whistle blows 2-0. Buffalo being outshot, outscored here in the first.
Who's your favorite Avs player?
Passion, talent, and hard work help the Sabres perform at their best. That's also what helps us in injury cases. Give us a call.
It's a 2-0 lead for Colorado here in the first period with 7:34 to go. Dan Dunleavy along with Rob Ray, and the Sabres off the face-off of the puck in their own end, and Myers shy of center will play it off the boards left wing side. Steve Vaught just tips it into the Colorado zone. Sabres looking for some zone time here after having that 4-minute penalty kill, and late in that penalty kill, the Avalanche wound up scoring their second of the game. Here they come again. The Avs centered in front. Landeskog near post. Yeah, it seems like an avalanche for Ryan Miller, all right. It's 3-0, 7:13 to go in this first period.
Well, Landeskog puts this in the empty net, but it's a great job. You can see Billy Lano get caught flat-footed here. Tyler Myers has got to come across to try to help out, but Nathan MacKinnon using his speed, coming wide, and he makes a perfect pass to Landeskog going to the net on his backhand, and Ryan had no chance. Landeskog's 15th goal of the season to this point. 5th straight game with a point.
Well, you knew the speed was coming, and they are bringing it early. Sabres off the face-off behind the Avalanche net. Not for long as the puck is played up the boards halfway on the far side. Holden now under the goal line in the near corner. And some time and space now for Landeskog to send that puck cross ice into the Buffalo zone. Goes back to the far point. Shot doesn't get through from Barrie. Second chance does, and Patrick Bordelot parked at the same spot the last goal was just scored here at the near post. Almost had himself an open net. Foligno trying to clear over on the far side. Puck bounces in front of the net. Another Avalanche player is down. It's Bordelot in the far circle now just getting up. And he'll go to the Avalanche bench, but not with a lot of speed to that. Here's Veroni carrying it over the Colorado line. Philip Veroni trying to center from the right wing corner. Girgensons comes out, takes the shot. Varlamov with the save, and first real good scoring look for the Buffalo Sabres off some nice work by Philip Veroni.
Now this is what they got to do, get back to work, being down 3 here with 6:13 left in this first period. They need to spend a ton of time in the offensive zone. And that's the only way they're going to get back into there. You see Bordereau go down there. Patrick Bordereau gets nailed by his own man. He's bent over. The referee actually had to push him to get him over to the bench to get him out of the way.
Avalanche get the puck to their blue line and just dribbles out on Brian Flynn. Kick back in, so offside called here against Buffalo. In 5 of the last 7 games Buffalo has played, they'd actually managed to score the first goal of the hockey game, but tonight, 6:03 to go in the first. Big hole has been dug here.
Yeah, it has. And when Colorado scores first, they're 28-1-3.
Avalanche with possession off the face-off, played up the near wall looking for O'Reilly. That's taken away by Ennis. Gets in over the Colorado line. Lost possession, and McGinn plays it to an open wing far side. Ehrhoff back after it. Into his own zone. Christian takes a look, head up in the far circle. Pass near side. Ruedel hesitates a bit as O'Reilly with some tight checking, forcing the pass cross ice to Ehrhoff. And on the Buffalo side of center, Ehrhoff's pass down the left wing was intercepted, and here comes Matt Duchene, left wing and over the Buffalo line. Duchene lost the puck as he tried to pull the trigger from a tight angle. Play stays on the boards near side of the Buffalo zone. Ennis can't clear. Duchene keeps it in, but Ennis picks up the loose puck, and he'll skate it down to center ice with 5:16 to go in the first. He'll go to the bench as it's carried deep into the zone now by Ellis out there along with John Scott. The Sabres' fourth line is trying to get some zone time here and give the rest of the legs a bit of a break perhaps. John Scott back to Myers near point. Shot tipped in front but just wide as Ellis and Konopka go for the loose puck. Ellis has it now. Right wing corner, turns and shoots. That goes off a leg. Has been Wagon on the way on that one. Now the puck chipped to the line and out. And it's Talinder back in his own zone and at center ice. And he's bothered from behind by Talbot, but manages to get the puck to the Colorado line. That's as far as they go. And Ryan Wilson will send it across ice. Tyson Barrie to the Buffalo line before he chips it in. Talbot, right wing corner, taken to the boards by D'Agostini. Sending Konopka on the loose puck. Played behind the Buffalo net. And the Sabres now will bring it up to their own blue line. And a little backhand pass by Talinder to center. Too far for Foligno. Sabres forced back into their own end. Here's Talinder again. Right wing at his blue line, now to center. Chips it to the Avalanche line and in. D'Agostini giving chase, working on Tyson Barrie. Good stick work by D'Agostini, and Verone comes up with a puck back to the point. Weber comes off the bench, takes a shot, that deflects. Verone has it behind the net. Down in the near corner now. Keeps the cycle working with D'Agostini. Coming up the boards near side. Back to the point. Verone turns and fires. Foligno got a tip in front, turns and takes a weak shot well wide. Goes off the far boards, and Buffalo will have to get some fresh legs out there, and a penalty coming up against the Sabres again as Marcus Foligno goes to the bench. Meanwhile, with a goaltender on the bench, here come the Avalanche. Landeskog behind Ryan Miller. Out there with McKinnon. Landeskog, one hand on the stick, shielding the puck, plays it behind the Buffalo goal. Race for it, and Weber just gets there to touch it up. So it goes from bad to worse in this first period for Buffalo as they trail it by a score of 3-0, and now another power play for the Avs. The official copier company of the Buffalo Sabres, Toshiba Business Solutions, is your leader in document management.
Yeah, Phil Verone in the box, high sticking. He's going to come across, turn away from his check, finish the check there, then you don't have to worry about it. And you come across, you get your stick up recklessly, and he catches Nathan McKinnon coming up the ice into the chin area. And you're going for two. And that's not what the Sabres needed at this point in the game, with 3:33 left in this first period, being down 3.
Colorado 1 for 2 on the power play this afternoon. The first power play was the double minor for the high stick. Face off to the left of Ryan Miller and off the draw. Tyler Myers with a chance to clear it down the ice. He gets it to center, and it's off to Tyson Barrie, who will now pick up the puck back in his own zone.
27 of the first period.
Avalanche to center, and in over the line McKinnon tries to cut in the middle. That's tipped away and sent back out to center ice. Steve Ott out there along with Brian Flynn, killing the first 30 seconds or so of this Avalanche power play. McKinnon with the puck shy of center. Couple of moves. Landeskog left wing takes the pass now into the Colorado zone. Down on the left wing corner, making the Buffalo zone left wing corner. Back to Barrie at the point, kept it in with a nice kick save, and it's cleared down the ice by Flynn as Landeskog couldn't settle the puck down. Down to 1:16 left in this penalty kill for the Sabres as Matt Duchene drifts left wing, now cuts through center. Pass on the right wing side. McGinn will fire it in. Miller back behind the net, reaching for too far. Ryan O'Reilly closed down by Marcus Foligno, trying to poke it deep into the zone. Puck gets there. Here comes Duchene. Walks the red line, cuts in, and backhand attempt goes wide of the goal. Now it comes here to the near corner in the Buffalo zone. O'Reilly plays it behind the net. Duchene back to O'Reilly. 45 seconds to go on the power play, and it's back to the point. Parenteau for O'Reilly near circle. O'Reilly goes to the front of the net. Duchene looks for him. Comes all the way back to the far point. Eric Johnson, who's gone to the right side, now sets up on the top of the zone. Takes a return saucer pass. Nice pass to the near side for Parenteau. Cross ice feed, wide open chance. And O'Reilly, instead of shooting, look for Duchene down on the side of the net. Matt Duchene has the puck. Now comes to Parenteau, top of the near circle. O'Reilly down low, Duchene behind the net. 16 seconds left in this penalty kill for Buffalo, and a high stick tip. And the faceoff's going to come outside the Buffalo zone.
Banking just got simpler with First Niagara. Download the First Niagara mobile banking app featuring the new One Swipe Balance. Speed and simplicity at your fingertips.
Well, that's a pretty potent group of offensive players, Rob, that the Sabres have kept at base so far with 13 seconds to go in this penalty kill.
Yeah, they've got a lot of offense on this hockey team. You got to be very careful, and they're taking way too many penalties at this point because of the offensive power that this Colorado team has. You cannot give them this many opportunities on the power play if you think you're going to win.
John Mitchell gets to the Buffalo line. Myers then falls down as he tried to play the puck out, and he fell down because he was tripped. And a penalty count up against Colorado.
Yeah, John Mitchell's going to the box here for hooking. And this is just on the going into the zone. Tyler Myers working with the puck. Kind of gets his foot out, his leg out a little bit here. Number 7 kind of sticks that left leg out, grabs on with one hand to Myers, and down he goes. And I think when he went down, that's what sold it to the referee. Nevertheless, the Sabres got a little bit of a break here.
Chance to get back in this one, down 3-0, 1:32 to go in the period. And their second power play of this opening frame. Off the faceoff. On the right wing boards. Ehrhoff gets it to the front of the net. Cody Hodgson fires it wide. Sabres keep puck possession back to Ehrhoff here at the near point. Walks it to the middle of the zone. Pass off to his right. Ennis takes a look. Saucer pass back to Ehrhoff. Far circle. No one-timer from Tyler Myers, who has come down that left wing side. Cody Hodgson comes up to meet the pass. Far circle. Face-off dot. Shot stopped by Varlamov as Cody was looking 5-hole on the soon-to-be Russian Olympian.
Now, a good shot by Cody Hodgson coming off the wall like that, but you got to make sure there's somebody in front. Right here, he's going to have a clear lane. You can take that shot, yeah, and try to catch him, but look, he's right out on top of the paint. It's really got nowhere to go. That's why you need that traffic in front. You kind of get the look off there, the quick shot trying to catch him, but there's got to be somebody there to try to somewhat distract the goaltender.
1:23 to go in the power play. We're down to 54 to go in the period, and Myers in his own zone. Pass up through center, deflected by Ennis. Deep into the Colorado zone near corner. Benoit just pokes it behind the net, but Agostini's there for Buffalo. Myers trying to backhand it deep in the zone. Just keeps it in at the line. No, it's offside as Myers almost kicked it in. Down to 1:06 left in this power play. Stay up to date on Roster Moose. Find out what the coach is thinking every week on WGR. Ted Nolan, Tuesday mornings, 8 a.m. with Howard and Jeremy in the home of the Buffalo Sabres, WGR Sports Radio 550.
Now, Ryan O'Reilly in this hockey game assisting on the McGinn goal, gets his 100th career assist.
Face off outside the Avalanche line. Sabres win it. 32 seconds to go in this period. Steve Ott turns on his side of center. Now gains red. Fires it in. It goes off of Benoit. And he'll send Ott back into the Buffalo zone. 21 seconds left in this opening period. Ott from behind his own net. One last push here for Buffalo. See if they can't get one before the period's out. Jamie McBain giving chase against Benoit down under the goal line. Ott comes down to help out. Lanes along the boards with 8 seconds to go in the period. Puck comes free. 5 seconds to go. Back to the line for Leno. Shot goes off a skate over on the far boards. Ruido turns, and that will do it for the opening 20 minutes. And not a good opening 20 minutes for Buffalo, to be extremely honest about it.
No, it definitely wasn't, because there was a lot of things that hampered them. The speed of the Colorado Avalanche got them hemmed in their zone for long periods of time, and with that speed, they were able to rotate the puck and create a lot of great opportunities from it. Sloppy penalties, 2 high sticking penalties that ended up costing them on the 4-minute one to Weber was a big part of it, and 2 goals were directly because the D got caught out of position. Instead of staying in the position, they over pursued, got themselves caught, leaving guys wide open to get themselves up 3.
Tyson Barrie, Jamie McGinn on the power play, and Gabriel Landeskog with the 3 goals to open the scoring in this one through 20. Sabres will look to regroup. Brian Duff, Brad May with their intermission coming up next here on MSG.
Sabres hockey is brought to you by Verizon Fios, America's fastest, most reliable internet, and proud sponsor of the Buffalo Sabres. Brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Build Ford tough. Brought to you by your Buffalo Hyundai dealers. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Buffalo Sabres. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Now at your Honda dealer. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Highlights from period number 1 here in Denver. The scoring opened by Tyson Barrie. Tough angle and a little shovel backhand up high past Ryan Miller. Seemed like it might have been a bit of a broken play, but McKinnon sets it up, and then that was a beautiful feed from Erik Johnson right onto the stick of Jamie McGinn. He's got 8 in the last 16, and then the blazing speed from McKinnon as he feeds Gabe Landeskog for his 15th. So a 2-point period for Nathan McKinnon, widening his lead as the top rookie scorer in the NHL is a 4-point cushion now over Tyler Johnson of Tampa Bay. And what you also saw in those highlights, especially the last one, scoring off the rush. That's a team in transition. So you may be wondering, well, how did the Sabres have a positive Corsi number at +2 in a period where they're down by 3? Well, the chances in zone time were, I would say, pretty similar, but obviously Colorado has that blazing ability to just turn nothing into something, and they clearly did on a couple of those instances. One of them, of course, was on the power play at the tail end of Mike Weber's 4-minute penalty for high sticking, and you can see where the Avs have done some damage too, getting shots from in close around Ryan Miller. 2 of the goals, certainly, or all 3 of the goals, I should say, came from there. Buffalo without a shot in tight against Semyon Varlamov at this point in time. So the shots were 11-8 Colorado in the period. One thing that was, I'm sure, disappointing for the Sabres, and it's been a familiar refrain this year, was not getting that the result from the first couple of good shifts of the game. I thought they set a terrific tone with maybe the first 2 or 3 shifts of the game, drew the first penalty, but then while getting 3 shots on goal, didn't get those good second looks on the power play, some good rebound opportunities. So I'll tell you what, there was an opportunity there for Buffalo to have the lead, but ultimately they didn't get it. Colorado really shows that terrific speed. We're seeing McKinnon, by the way, playing up on a top line tonight with Landeskog and McGinn, so big opportunity for him this evening, and he has not missed on many of those, no matter who he's been playing with tonight. Steve Ott, good strong period on the draws, and from a shot standpoint, he had 4 of Buffalo's offerings in the first. There's Patrick Roy. Let's go to Dan and Rob for period 2.
Well, the door is slightly ajar starting this second period. 28 seconds remaining in the penalty to John Mitchell. So the Buffalo Sabres with the man advantage. Will have to be quick at it, though. Cody Hodgson to take the face-off. Buffalo will go from right to left here in this second period. And off the draw, Sabres backing up into their own zone. Down to 22 seconds left now in the man advantage. Early countdown on this power play. Here's Cody Hodgson down the left wing side. Takes the shot, and that deflects off a stick and up into the mesh. Nate Gennin with that block for the Avalanche.
Yeah, once again, Cody Hodgson coming down that wing, taking the shot. And it's not a bad play, but you got to when you're on this power play, get it in the zone and not rush it here. You know it's going to get blocked. The man's right on you. Stop, turn up, and wait for somebody to get to the net. As you've seen on the screen there, nobody else near the net, even if there was a rebound.
Sabres win the draw. Hodgson again takes a shot, tip in front. Varlamov makes the save. It was D'Agostini looking for that deflection at the near post.
Varlamov is right on top of the crease, and that's exactly where D'Agostini's stick was. And great play by Cody Hodgson, keeping it on the ice. He wasn't looking to take the shot here. He was looking to get it and hopefully redirect it by D'Agostini in front. But because they were so tight to each other, you watch him right here where the stick is. It's right on. Nowhere for that puck to go because he's got his chest right in front of the direction.
A couple of big face-off wins for Buffalo, but that time it's sent down the ice by the Avalanche, and that'll do it as Mitchell skirts across onto the Colorado bench. Quick pass up the center, though, and it's Veroni who will tip it deep into the Avalanche zone. He won't get there to keep it in on his own, however, and Colorado quickly as Johnson ahead for Duchesne, a little bit too far, and it's sent back into the Colorado end under the goal line, and it's an icing call. Charged, and the faceoff comes back into the Buffalo zone.
Well, Ryan O'Reilly out on the ice right now. He's one of the great young players on this hockey team. He was a centerman, natural centerman. They moved him to the wing. They weren't sure, was he going to be able to adapt or not? Well, you know what? He has done it, and he's done it very well. And he's just one of those guys, when you're that talented of a hockey player, you can adapt to the situations you're put in. And moving from center to wing, he hasn't lost a step. Probably got better.
Foligno backhands it outside the Buffalo zone. O'Reilly now, left wing side, just ahead of the blue line, and he'll shoot it in. Puck comes around to the near side, and it's outside the line now to center ice, but Colorado keep possession. Johnson backing up slowly. Sends a pass up ahead to the blue line, and now McGinn against the boards against Weber. Can't move it any further up ice. And Johnson now for the Avalanche. Quick pass ahead, back to Shane from McGinn. Right wing's got some room, takes the shot, and talk about well out of the blue paint. Ryan Miller makes the save at the near post.
I think he's realizing he's going to have to come out and challenge these guys because they are going to look to take this shot. And I think he's losing a little trust in his D back there. You see Mike Weber just push Duchesne into the middle of the ice. And by doing that, it just bought him enough time to give Ryan that lane to be able to see that shot to come in perfectly. Makes a save with no rebound.
Face off for the Buffalo zone. Avalanche keep possession again. Duchesne, O'Reilly make that Landeskog, McKinnon, and Parenteau out there now with a shot that goes off the boards into the near corner. On the wall, no clear yet. Kept in. Shot goes wide of the mark. Now a chance to play it off the boards and out. Buffalo able to do that. But still no puck possession since they started this period on that abbreviated power play. Now we get an offside called against the Avalanche. You can find out what's going on behind the scenes with the Sabres. Get your questions answered when President Ted Black joins Howard and Jeremy every Thursday morning, 8 a.m. on the home of the Buffalo Sabres, WGR Sports Radio 550. McKinnon will lean in to take this face-off just shy of the Buffalo blue line. He'll be waved out against Brian Flynn. Now Gabriel Landeskog will lean in. At some point we'll get this thing dropped. There we go, and now we're underway. Johnson, right wing at center with a shoot in. Ryan Miller directing traffic off to his right. Ruido on the puck. Pressured right away though behind the Buffalo net. He gets some puck support there, and the Sabres will look for a lot of that to get transition going here in the second period. Girgensons with a race against Johnson. Into the Colorado zone, down on the left wing corner. Flynn plays it back to the point. Ehrhoff, not a lot of room, just trying to play the puck deep. McKinnon and Ehrhoff with a stick battle for the puck shy of the red line at center, and it's sent into the Buffalo zone. Landeskog won't get to it on the far side. Puck's turned over though. McKinnon picking it up, but we've got a penalty on the play, a slashing call against Colorado. So Buffalo's going back to the man advantage.
Yeah, and this call is going on to Shane. And it happened over on the far side, I think with Chad Ruido. Or I'm sorry, Landeskog's getting this. And they had a little battle over on the far side of the ice. Chad Ruido kind of turns up from him a little bit, looks to make that pass across. And it ended up being a bad pass across the ice because Landeskog slashed him right across the hand, on the bottom of the hand. He wasn't able to control that puck.
So Buffalo already 0 for 2 in the power play with another chance at it here. Back in their own end, Ruido between the circles. Up to center, and it's a lift in and chase for Jamie McBain. Hayda gets there, plays it to the corner far side. Foligno plays it back to the point. Ville Leino, left circle, walks in, holds it, drops it back. Ruido fans on the shot, loose puck bounces to the front of the net, and Varlamov covers up with Foligno standing there. Didn't expect that puck to dribble the way it did to the goal.
No, I did not. Chad Ruido walks in, gets himself a perfect position here. Nice wrister he's looking to make, but as he's got a head up, looking to see where he was going to take the shot, puck just stopped on him. You see it just kind of stopped. And he skates right by it.
Down to 1:28 left in the power play. Off the faceoff, Buffalo's got to scamper back into their own end to get the possession and start it up ice. D'Agostini hanging around the Avalanche blue line will tip it in. And the chase is on now with Ennis against Johnson, far corner. Puck comes halfway up the boards to the hash marks. Cody Hodgson there, his pass back to D'Agostini goes off the skate. And the Avalanche send it all the way down the ice. Ryan Miller with the puck in the blue paint, lays it off for Ehrhoff. Mitchell comes down with a pretty good two-hander on top of the stick, and he wins the puck back. Mitchell turns top of the circle, holds onto it, looks back to the blue line. Mitchell still with it in the Buffalo zone. He'll send it all the way back into the Colorado end. Avalanche now go D to D, and Gedden sends that puck up to the center ice red line area, and it's fired into the Buffalo zone by Mitchell. Talbot giving chase now on Myers. Penalty with 35 seconds left in it, so the Sabres power play dwindling here as Ennis carries it over the line, and then he's just bumped off the puck by Gedden. Avalanche get it to the line and then send it the length of the ice. Marc-Andre Cliche with the last touch to clear that one, and 18 seconds to go in this power play. Ruido to center. Leino can't handle the pass, and the Avalanche in their own end. Johnson will send the Sabres packing one more time. Puck bounces off the end boards. Miller, a little bit of trouble with it, plays it on the near boards, and Ville Leino closed down in a hurry, plays it ahead to Steve Ott. Penalty is over. Back onto the ice comes Landeskog. Sabres with the shoot in. They'll have to try to get it on 5-on-5 now as Ott chases after the puck down to the corner, comes back to the point. Kept in deep by Ruido behind the net. Ville Leino. Johnson on him. Leino trying to bring it back to the point, but turns the puck over. And the Avalanche gain center ice to Shane. For O'Reilly, back to Duchesne at the line, tries to send it in the slot. That's broken up, bouncing puck side of the net. Steve Ott will play it to the near corner. For 15 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the second period. 3-0 Colorado. It's Marcus Foligno carries left wing into the Avalanche zone. Stops, heads back towards the point. Nobody there though as Buffalo is changing, so it's behind the goal for Ville Leino. 2 Sabres under the goal line. Leino behind the net. Plays it back to the far point. Myers for Talinder near point. His shot well wide. Leno chasing after it. Far side. Back to Myers. Trying to play it back to the center of the zone. Avalanche knocked that one down. And McKinnon turns, sits inside his own blue line. Nathan McKinnon weaves his way to the Buffalo line and in. Right wing side. Stops. Plays it back to the point. Barry with a shot. And he hammers a rocket wide. Comes back to the far point. There's a shot in. Ryan Miller's going to hold on to that one off the stick of Nick Holden, who has 4 goals this season for Colorado.
Now Colorado's up 3-0 here, and you look at shots on goal. Colorado's got 12 to this point. The Sabres 10. But the difference in the game so far is just hesitation by the Sabres. They're looking up, they're waiting to make a play, looking for that perfect pass or the perfect play all the time. And the speed of the Colorado Avalanche is just giving them fits. That's a big thing right now. We get some excitement here. John Scott and Bonnero here's out on the ice.
Face-off win by the Avalanche. There's Holden. Has it at the near circle. John Scott on him. Puck comes to the side of the net, and McGinn puts it off the side of the near goal. Puck comes back to the near point. Now Holden, center of the zone, trying to send it down the left wing boards. Ellis broke it up for a moment. Avalanche keep it. Miller the save, far post. Loose puck played back to the line. Bordeleau out there this time. Here's McGinn with a shot, and that one fired wide open. Net tip in. Marc-Andre Cliche. Avalanche up to 4-0, 13:55 to go here in period number 2.
Wow, this was just some hard work down low. John Scott did not have a stick for most of this shift, and it was just hard work by Colorado. And Marc-Andre Cliche getting his first goal of the season here by just going to net. Ryan Miller out on top of the blue paint. And you see Zdeno Konopka coming back. Mike Weber and McBain not able to do anything. Once again, a defenseman get caught over in the far side. And Ryan Miller's left hanging.
Well, this city is already jacked up for the Super Bowl tomorrow, and the fans here this afternoon. P.A. Parenteau carries right wing down deep in the Buffalo zone. Landeskog pushed off the puck by Cody Hodgson, but played behind the Buffalo goal far corner. Ehrhoff lifts it up ahead. Hodgson has it go off of his right shoulder and is unable to settle it down, and then Landeskog will send a rink-wide pass over to the left wing side. McKinnon takes a feed inside on his backhand, cutting to the net. Miller, nice stick to knock that one away. The penalty coming up here against Buffalo. It'll be a holding call against the Sabres, who trailed it 4-0 with 13:15 to go here in the second.
Our Hyundai leader, Nathan McKinnon. He assisted on the Colorado's first 2 goals of this hockey game. Doing a nice job using his body down low, taking the puck wide. But excellent passing. He's got his head up, makes some nice plays. And he's 39 points, 19 goals, 7 power play goals. Leads NHL rookies in all 3 categories. Excellent young player coming through this organization. Be a part of this team for a long time to come.
Sabres on the penalty kill again for the 4th time. It's a 1-for-3 on the power play for the Avalanche as Buffalo send them packing back into their own end. Varlamov will leave it behind the goal. 12 minutes and 57 seconds left here in this second period as P.A. Parenteau carries up through the Avalanche logo at center. Here's McGinn on the right wing side, down in the Buffalo corner. Plays the puck to the far boards. Now behind the net, back to Shane. Trying to trap it to Linder with it. Tries to slap it out, and Johnson can't keep it in. So Buffalo will get a change in as Varlamov will leave it behind the net. Jurgensen's first man inside the Avalanche blue line. Now backs up to center out there along with Marcus Foligno to kill this portion of the Avalanche power play. The Avalanche are going to change as they turn the puck over deep in the Buffalo zone. So a lot of time and space to send this puck down the ice. And Jurgensen's had a shorthanded goal last time out. Almost had a chance to cut to the net off the far shoot in, but quickly it's Landeskog who carries it over the Buffalo line. Left wing side under the goal line now stops as McBain watches him. Weber comes over to help out. His hard around clear kept in by Tyson Barrie. He'll play it over the far point. Benoit plays it on the left wing boards. Landeskog tied up. No time and space there as Zemgus Girgensons took him out of the play quickly. Can't clear it though as Barrie keeps it in. Girgensons keeps up the fight. And now the puck here to An open side, and Weber will send it down the ice. Good shift there, Rob, by Zengus Girgensons.
He just constantly, every time he's on the ice, it's hard work. It's 100% every time, and he's all over the puck. The big thing is never stops his feet from moving.
17 seconds left of this penalty kill for Buffalo, who trail it 4-0 in the second period. Puck in the Sabres zone, and it's cleared one more time. Barry can't keep it in. Ryan Flynn giving chase into the Avalanche zone. Barry, pass up through center, deflects, but still on the stick of O'Reilly for Nathan MacKinnon. Into the slot, drop back, Barry, point, shot, fires it wide. Miller might have got a piece of that with a blocker. Out of the box now is Ehrhoff, and Flynn sends the puck outside the Sabres blue line. Ehrhoff to the Buffalo bench. Meanwhile, Mitchell carries in. Here's MacKinnon, side of the net, pad stacked by Ryan Miller, and he keeps it out. Verone. Left wing pass to Steve Ott. It's tipped deep into the Colorado zone. Tucked over on the far boards. Cleach looking to get the return pass. It's behind him. The Avalanche still gain center, now to the line and in the Buffalo zone. Patrick Bordeleau in behind the Buffalo goal. Weber watching him and takes him out in behind the Buffalo net. Verone puts the puck right back in the skates of the two. Weber against the boards. Verone for D'Agostini. There's a puck that comes errant into the circle. Wilson's going to fire from a high slot. Rebound. Oh, what a pad save by Ryan Miller on Marc-Andre Cleach here at the near post. Avalanche sent back into their own end. Marcus Foligno jumps on a turnover down the left wing side. In behind the net now, Foligno. Little backhand feed. D'Agostini comes halfway up the boards. Plays it in behind the Avalanche net. Foligno's on his backhand. Near corner with the puck. Watched by Wilson. Ehrhoff from the point. Shoots it high and wide. Ruido's going to come down from the far point to keep it in. He's got a lane to the front of the net, but it didn't last long. Ennis tries to cut in for the goal line, but stick check takes the puck away. Ennis comes up with it. Pass in the slot. Backhand shot. Flynn fires it wide. Penalty coming up as Ennis was hooked on the play. Ennis keeps the puck. Puck comes back to the blue line with no possession as Ryan Miller was just getting to the bench, but referee whistles it down anyway. Buffalo going back on the power play, trailing 4-0 here in the second.
Sabres trail the Avalanche 4-0 here with 9:30 left in the second period. Jan Hayda in the box for hooking. Right at the side of the net, he gets his stick up. Right there on Ennis, pulls him down to the ice. And then just before this, Cleach gets a great opportunity off the draw right here. Ryan makes one save. Cleach scored on his last shift, and he came very close from scoring on his next shift.
Draw on the Colorado end, and the puck comes all the way back out to center. So that door keeps opening just a little bit. Sabres back with the man advantage one more time. They'll start the break from their own zone, and it's Ehrhoff slowly to center. Gets to the Avalanche logo, drop for Ennis. Hodgson leaves it to the far point. Myers sends a puck that goes off the glass in the near corner. D'Agostini will leave it there, and it's played back to the point near side. Ehrhoff pressured by Mitchell. Cross ice pass Myers. Halfway down the boards, right wing side. Played down to the corner. Ennis with a pass back up top. Ehrhoff back to Ennis. Hodgson comes down to his near post. Mitchell watches him, so the pass isn't there. It's back to Myers. Now Ehrhoff. Hodgson's side of the net. Tried to direct it to the front of the goal. Couldn't get it there. Sabres keep possession though on this power play with 1:14 left in it. Ehrhoff top of the zone for Ennis. Left circle. At the dot. Walks in. Stick check by Mitchell. Knocks the puck away from him. Cody Hodgson rescues it. Has it for the Sabres and back to the line again for Ehrhoff. Shots not coming from the point. There's one by Ehrhoff high, and D'Agostini ducks in the rebound. Shot taken by Hodgson, and Varlamov makes the save. 55 seconds left in the power play. Sabres trying to find a chink in the armor here. Work the puck down low on the left wing side. Back to Ennis. Comes off the boards. Takes a shot looking for the tip. Scores! Matt D'Agostini in front of the net. And Buffalo's on the board with 8:15 to go in the second.
Well, excellent job by the Sabres. Down low, Matt D'Agostini plants himself in front where he's been all afternoon. He had a close chance in that first period, but he makes no mistake in this second. Nice job by Ennis working it low here. Then gets it back up along the wall. You got Hodgson getting himself in a position, but right there, Matt D'Agostini gravitates to the front of the net, gets himself where he's on the forehand. And you see Ennis just throw this puck across. And he keeps it low, and that was the key, keeping it low. That way it's tough to handle. And then if there is any type of a rebound, it will lay right there, and that's exactly what happened. D'Agostini gets their first one.
Big goal for the Buffalo Sabres, and now on the board, see if they can build some momentum. Only being outshot by 6, as Rob mentioned earlier, but it's a 4-1 lead still, and the Buffalo Sabres giving chase with a shoot-in. And Verone's got the loose puck on the far boards, but it bounces away from him. And the Avalanche back to even strike now. Here's Tyson Barrie over the Buffalo line. From again, near circle, fires. Ryan Miller down to make the save at the near post. Puck comes to the blue line. Kept in by Holden. Far side shot, tipped on him. Saved by Ryan Miller. The puck just lay to his left, and it's cleared and sent down the ice into the Colorado zone. Close call there, but no icing, which is fortuitous for Buffalo, and the Sabres with the puck again. Trying to keep possession ahead of the Avalanche blue line. They can't. Here comes Matt Duchene in over the line, along with McGinn trying to back his way into the slot in the Buffalo zone. Plays along the boards near side as Buffalo skates from right to left in the second period with 7:15 to go, down 4-1. Tipped into the Colorado zone. There goes Flynn chasing after it. Hayda takes into the boards. Girgensons behind the net, being watched by Parenteau. Puck played back to the far point. Shot gets on net, and Varlamov forced to make the save. I just mentioned, Rob, there weren't many shots coming from the point. Those lanes must have been taken away by Colorado, but now we're starting to see it a little bit more.
Well, they're starting to back in a little farther here, and it is opening up the back end for the Sabres here, and they got to take advantage of it. I think a lot has to do with, especially this line, working the puck down low. Every time they're out there, they get good opportunity down low, and when that happens, everybody kind of falls back down, and it's going to leave the points wide open. They got to have their heads up realizing that.
Steve Ott against Landeskog, a battle on the boards, and it's now McKinnon who skates left wing over the Buffalo line for Landeskog. Save made by Ryan Miller off of that bullet. Miller checks the glove after that save. Now it's Lane on left wing. In over the line, drop passes behind Steve Ott. McKinnon has it back now. Parenteau in over the Buffalo line, winds and fires. Rebound McKinnon. Boy, he knew exactly where that puck was headed after the save by Ryan Miller. Nathan McKinnon, what a smart young player, and Buffalo's offside as they come back the other way.
Now Ryan Miller once again getting tested here. Only 24 shots at this point, but they get some good opportunities. Here's Landeskog coming down with a great chance. Steve Ott's able to pick this puck up and move it back up the ice, but Ryan Miller, you know, they got 4 goals on him, but the goals they've got, a lot of times he has not got a lot of help from his D or his forwards down low, and when he's been called upon in those point-blank shots, he's done a pretty decent job of it.
Sabres will fire it back in. Varlamov traps it behind the net. Here comes Foligno to finish a check. Back the line to Linder, keeps it in. Walking the line and bringing it over to the near side is Myers. Leans his way down to the side of the net, falls down behind the goal. And back with it now comes Mitchell for the Avalanche. Cross ice pass. Benoit, he'll just fire it in from the blue line to prevent the offside. Verone with a redirect under the goal line. And now D'Agostini takes a look up ice. He's going to send this one the length of the ice. This will be an icing call against the Buffalo Sabres, who finally get themselves on the board.
Blue Cross Blue Shield values our members by giving a 10% discount at the Sabres store. Just show your ID card. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York. Healthy changes everything.
Face off to the right of Miller, and off the draw, the puck exits the zone. And the Avalanche will go back into their own end after. Turned over Verone, trying to set it in the slot for Foligno. It's behind him. Here comes Tyson Barrie. His pass left wing to the Buffalo line and in, but not for long as Bordelot is turned back, and now the Sabres transition back into the Avalanche zone. Girgensons takes the shot, and Varlamov makes the save of that blast that came from the left wing circle. Avalanche send the puck the length of the ice, and we'll have yet another icing call. Rob, we were talking earlier about Max Talbot and why the Avalanche should bring a player like this on board. 556th NHL game tonight.
Well, the experience is why they bring him on, and you get him playing with a guy like Nathan McKinnon in a rookie season. He's a guy that can be able to teach him the way, cover up for him, look out for him while he's on the ice, and when you can get that connection with that older player, it just makes that development of those young kids speed up so much faster when you've got that responsible guy on the ice with them, and it's been a perfect match for them.
Avalanche trying to gain center ice. They do as Cleach will send it far corner in the Buffalo zone. Jamie McBain's got some time. Bordelot with a skate by with 5:14 to go, second period. 3-goal lead for the Avalanche. Buffalo on the board though, down 4-1 into the Avalanche zone, but no possession. Erik Johnson now behind his own goal. Johnson shy of his own blue line. No real pressure, so he's going to back it in, take his time with it. Wait for some space, and now here's a chance as Duchene carries it over the line. Left circle takes the shot. And O'Reilly in the slot looking for the loose puck. Big hit as Zemgus Girgensons and Johnson meet inside the Buffalo line. Meanwhile, Cody Hodgson sends it in front of the Avalanche goal. And that puck deflects before Varlamov had to make a save. Ice opens up for Duchesne. This is dangerous. Ehrhoff, though, stays on his hip. Duchesne turns and falls down, but Ehrhoff's going to be called for a trip. And once again, the Sabres down 4-1. We'll go back on the penalty kill when we return. The Connors and Ferris replay. Western New York's workers' comp attorneys committed to serving Buffalo to Rochester's injured worker.
Well, Zemgus Girgensson and Erik Johnson are going to come together along the wall right here. See the skate of Girgenson's? Comes up and it just brushes Johnson's face here. Very close to being a big problem right there. They was very lucky not to catch that skate in his face. Johnson was. And here's the penalty. Ehrhoff on Duchesne. As Duchesne stops, turns, goes to the net. Ehrhoff's momentum with his stick takes his feet out from underneath him, and he's in the box for tripping.
Face off in the Buffalo zone. Parenteau will keep it in at the near point. 4:24 to go, second period. Puck tipped high over the goal, settles down to the near corner. O'Reilly in the corner for Duchesne. Myers there for Buffalo. Tallinder as well defensively. Puck's right behind the Buffalo goal. And now it's Zenon Konopka with a chance to backhand the puck down the ice, and he does just to the Colorado blue line, where P.A. Parenteau carries to the Buffalo line and in. Stays onside and holds that puck. Duchesne, right wing pass at the hash marks. Looks back to the point, head up, feeds it into the slot, bouncing puck. McGinn can't settle it down. Backhand pass to Duchesne, cross ice. Good stick by Myers to interrupt that pass across. Otherwise, could have been a heap of trouble again for the Buffalo Sabres. Puck is sent down to the Colorado end with 1:10 to go now in this latest penalty kill for Buffalo. Avalanche with a wall of four players to center. Johnson makes one move, gains his own. McKinnon, the trailer, scores!
Well, Nathan MacKinnon, we've talked an awful lot about him because he's that good. And you just seen a good example right there. Perfectly placed shot, low on the ice, inside the post to put them up 5-1 right here. Nice drop pass. They did the right thing. They backed off. They gave Ryan the lane, be able to see that puck coming in. I'm not sure if that puck deflected off Ruido's stick at all or not. Nevertheless, McKinnon's getting his first goal, third point of the game here tonight.
Third point of the game for McKinnon. First time in his career that he's registered three points in a game. Thankfully, he's not done it before because it was hard to spit out for some reason. Here's D'Agostini for Foligno, deep in the Colorado zone. Down to 3:18 to go in the second period. Morone against the boards. D'Agostini comes over trying to dig it loose. Good battle along the wall as Varlamov looks on to his right. Morone came up with a puck, but Barry takes it away from him. And now Cleese to center. He'll lift it into the Buffalo zone and give chase. Ruido gets some help from Ehrhoff. Puck under the goal line behind the Sabres net. Bordeleau there as well. Cleese comes up with it, plays it back to the point. Barry, right point, sends it down to the side of the net, now along the near boards. In behind the goal, Cody McLeod giving chase after him. Cody McLeod tied for the lead in penalty minutes right now with the Colorado Avalanche, given their history here, at least their time in this city. He's along the boards, along with D'Agostini, deep in the Buffalo zone. D'Agostini comes up with it. Cross ice pass in his own zone, finds Girgensons. His pass to center off the stick of Baroni and tipped deep into the Colorado zone. Down to 2:20 to go. Second period, Avalanche deep in their own end. Ryan Wilson under pressure, plays the puck behind his own goal. Now the pass up to center ice. Here's Mitchell, former Leaf draft pick, gets to the line and in. Sends it down to the corner. McLeod behind the net. Going to play it back to the far point. Haydewines and fires. Broken stick blocks that one as Flynn will have to go to the bench and get some new hardware. He'll just go to the bench for that matter as the Avalanche with Mitchell in over the Buffalo line again. 1v1. Help comes though from Ellis. Here's Hayda at the slot. Takes the shot. Miller the save. Mitchell's on the rebound far boards. 1:47 to go in the period. Mitchell tied up by McBain. Ellis knocks the puck down out of the air with a high stick, and because the Sabre was next to touch it, it's a high sticking call. The faceoff will stay in the Buffalo zone.
I know we've talked an awful lot about Nathan MacKinnon, Landeskog, and all these kind of guys, Duchesne, but you know what? This is what the Sabres have to look forward to. By finishing in the bottom, These are the kind of guys you're going to get at the top of the draft. And this is exactly what you need. And this is what Colorado has had to go through for a few years to kind of build and get these guys and get them together. And this is exactly the way you're going to look in Buffalo in a few years here, by getting these guys, getting them into the system, getting them playing. And this is what you can expect down the road.
Certainly is what you hope for. There'd be some fans in Edmonton wishing that it had turned out that way for them.
Well, you got to pick the right guy. Yeah. You know, it's not just a matter of picking the guy at the top of the draft. You got to make sure you get the right one with the right personality and the one that's going to fit into your system properly.
And if you want to compare the early picks, Edmonton's up next for the Sabres. Here's a chance, cutting in, firing a shot wide was Myers. He was one-on-one with Varlamov and nobody near him on the right circle. But further to my point, Edmonton's in Tuesday night. We'll have it on MSG and WGR 550 as well.
Well, Tyler Myers just comes down. He just looks to unleash on this. Cody Hodgson feeds him with a nice little pass. He's one-on-one. He's looking to the far side. Varlamov gets a piece of this and bounces it up over the glass.
Here's Tallinder from the point with a shot. That bounces at the side of the net. Down in the near corner of the Colorado zone. McGinn on the near boards, can't get it out. Tallinder pass into the slot, turning and firing his Ott. Couldn't get much on it. Didn't have a lot of room to turn and wind and fire. Tallinder comes down the boards against McGinn. Keeps the puck down low in the Avalanche zone. Ott will give chase in behind the net. Ott backhand pass in the slot, but that's well read. And the puck cleared to the line, but not out. Kept in. Sabres now with Cody Hodgson trying to backhand one on goal from the far circle. And the puck was lifted out to center ice. Get back to that point about backhands that Rob Ray talked about with Cody Hodgson in our last game in Phoenix. Here's Myers with a shot that's deflected up into the netting. And if you weren't with us, Cody Hodgson got some advice from someone else on the Sabres bench about those backhands.
Yeah, Rip Simonik, longtime trainer, was just a matter of fact of watching his game, watching it in practice, and giving him a little heads up, a little advice, saying, hey, don't worry trying to go to your forehand all the time. It takes too much time. Guys are too fast in this league. Start using a backhand. The good thing with Cody's got a big paddle on his stick. And from the heel, 3/4 of the way up, it's straight. So it's the perfect stick to take the backhander with, too.
Tyler Myers has left the Sabres bench, but there's only 38 seconds to go in the period. Buffalo off the face-off, the Colorado zone forced back out to center ice. They're keeping puck possession, but not now. McKinnon with the steal. Walks in, McKinnon pass in the slot, and the puck was in the skates of Landeskog. Well tied up, could not get a shot away. Sabres with possession now at center ice. Left wing side, Barone will shoot it in with Colorado in 19 seconds to go in the period. Varlamov from Barrie on the near boards. Marcus Foligno just missed a pretty good freight train of a check. He hits the boards and goes to the Buffalo bench. Parenteau pass, left wing side. Avalanche shot on goal, far side, stopped by Miller with 6 seconds to go in the period. Buffalo down 5-1, want to hold the fort here for the next 2 seconds in their own zone. And they do that as McKinnon can't turn on Chad Ruido to get the shot away.
Well, if you can say it was a better period for the Sabres, I think you've got to say it. They did a lot of things better than what they did in the first period. Yeah, they scored 1 goal. They gave up some more, but little things they're starting to do a little better to get it and creating some more chances offensively. They just got to keep working. Don't get down. Just keep working. Try to find a way and come up with as many positives as you can here.
Well, and he doesn't have the goal, but Zemgus Girgensons again would have to be one of the leaders in that workers category. And the goal scored by Matt D'Agostini on the power play. Ehrhoff and Ennis with the assist. The Buffalo trail at 5-1 through 2. Brian Duff, Brad May with our second period intermission coming up.
Sabres hockey is brought to you by Northtown, the official automobile dealer of the Buffalo Sabres. That's sharing the road to the nth degree. Trusted for over 50 years, Cellino & Barnes is Western New York's largest personal injury firm. The Gates Vascular Institute, building a healthier future. Integrity Office, supplying solutions to all your business needs. Weiser's Whiskey. Welcome to the Weiserhood.
3 goals in period number 1, 3 more in the second, and the Avalanche get the first one. Marc-Andre Cliche, this is a thing of beauty from his standpoint. 49th NHL game, first NHL goal for the 26-year-old, and at that point the Avalanche were up by 4. Buffalo's had 4 power plays in the game, and they made it count thanks to Matt D'Agostini. Ennis did some terrific work in multiple instances on the power play. Ehrhoff draws an assist as well. D'Agostini has 3 on the year. That at 11:45. Then Erik Johnson through the neutral zone into the offensive zone, puts it on a tee for McKinnon, who rifles it through Ryan Miller. And McKinnon has 20 on the year. Johnson and Varlamov set it up for Semyon, his second assist of the year. Let's take a look at how the shots break down in the Corsi number. Abnell with a 27-15 edge after outshooting Buffalo 16-7 in the period. Buffalo's Corsi number is a -10, and that's all shots. Shots on, missed shots, and opponents blocked. You see the red zone areas where Colorado has had some excellent success today. And right now, Corsi number or any other number, it is a significant uphill for the Buffalo Sabres going into period number 3. Something to note too, I mentioned earlier, and I think I was misspoken in the first period when I mentioned McGinn was on that top line with McKinnon and Landeskog. It's actually Parenteau, which speaks to Parenteau's ability to be a healthy scratch and then step in and not miss a beat. But the Avalanche are using 11 forwards and 7 D today, so they've been rotating through many of their top players on the fourth line pairs. Like Clich and Bordelot are your fourth line players. Sometimes we've seen Duchesne there, sometimes Landeskog, and on the Clich goal, it was McGinn that was out there in that situation. So they've been getting obviously good ice time for those fourth liners mixed in with some top line players, and maybe that's making it a bit of a handful for the Sabres here today as well, as that wave of forwards keeps coming at Buffalo and that tremendous young speed that Colorado possesses. 5-1 right now as we head to period number 3. There's the star of the day, Nate MacKinnon, with 3 points so far. Dan and Rob.
And a goaltending change for the Buffalo Sabres as Jonas Enroth is between the pipes for this third period. So Ryan Miller will take a seat for the last 20 minutes of this game. And Rob Ray,
I think it's a good move. You know, Ryan's done what he could do here in these first 2 periods. Like I said many times here so far, he was hung out to dry a few times, didn't get a lot of help. And I don't think it's a situation where what he has done for this hockey team to this point this season, you want to leave him hanging there. You want to get him out of this and just let him sit back and watch and allow Jonas to finish it off.
now you've been in the room. Is that a conversation that would be had because of Ryan's stature, or is that?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's out of respect out of Ryan Miller here.
Here's Landeskog now trying to cut in. Sabres from left to right in this third period, trailing by a score of 5-1. Avalanche back in their own zone, and Eric Johnson, who's snapped out of his bit of a point drought here this afternoon. Landeskog makes a turn at center. Parenteau trailing him on the left wing side. Puck comes back to the point. McKinnon lays it off for Holden, who plays it over on the far side. Barry back to the line and just kept in by Nick Holden. Avalanche top of the zone. Holden now left circle trying to cut in. Pass to the far post. Nobody there. And the puck taken now by Tyler Ennis. Trying to flip that to center ice. Just won't settle down for him. A bouncing puck. And Holden back in his own end plays it down. Landeskog turns it over far side. Flynn with the backhander to the near corner in the Colorado zone. Sabres. Zemgus Girgensons trying to cut inside. Plays the puck behind the net. Now pass back to the point. Here's room for Ehrhoff, and he fires one. A lot on that one, but wide of the goal, and back comes Matt Duchesne. Center and in over the Buffalo line, trying to go through the legs of Ruido, and well played by the Sabres' young defenseman.
Yeah, it was just standing him up, giving him a push right up near the shoulders area. Know where he's going to go. You don't worry about the puck in that situation. You're backing up as a defenseman. You're supposed to look right at the crest and see where his body's going. You don't worry about the puck, and he did it perfectly, preventing him from getting through, getting an opportunity on Enroth.
Face off in the Buffalo zone and off the draw. Here comes D'Agostini, right wing, squeezing his way down the right wing boards into the corner with it deep in the Colorado zone. In behind the net, McGinn watching him. D'Agostini plays it back to the line. Sabres just able to keep it in, and it's shoveled down to the corner. After it is Gennon in behind the net. On him is Verone, but Gennon able to tip that puck ahead. Now the bank pass for Duchesne, and it's going to go right to Jonas Enroth, who plays a nice little forehand pass off to his left, and Weber. Cross ice to the near boards. D'Agostini before he gets center, so he just lifts it into the Colorado zone so it doesn't go for icing, and he finishes up a line change. Here's John Mitchell now, left wing to center along with Ryan Wilson. Wilson loses the puck, and it's fired on goal by Ellis. Both of those players out of the Toronto St. Mike's hockey organization in the Ontario Hockey League at one point in their career. In the OHL, now we've got a scrap as Zenon Konopka against the boards, and it's Cody McLeod who's now going to become the penalty minute points leader, and they're tied up pretty close quarters here. Now they start swinging him. Konopka against the glass, trying to get the helmet off, and he does. No bonnet now for McLeod, who throws a couple of right hands. Konopka throws one himself. They're still against the glass. Throwing rights. There's one to the face by McLeod. Konopka comes back with a couple of his own. Linesman Still not coming in as these two are tied up. There's a left hand now by Konopka that comes in around the ear of McLeod. These two are still going at it. Looking at one another. Do you want to quit? No. Linesman close enough. Still staying away. Right hands by McLeod. Konopka looking to answer. Now they almost look like they're going to tie it up. Linesmen are in there, and McLeod throws an extra shot.
Yeah, you see McLeod leaking there from the right eye a little bit. That was an excellent fight. I don't think you can pick a winner on either side. That's old school. They went at it. The linesman let them go at it. They both threw punches. They didn't just tie each other up. That was excellent. And here you see Konopka come across and give him the shot to kind of instigate things and get it going. And McLeod, no stranger to this. All right, let's all oblige it. Here we go. And the two of them just went at it. Excellent fight by both men.
All right, mentioned Conan McLeod was tied with Adam Foote with 948 career penalty minutes for most in Avalanche history since the team relocated into '95. So he'll take that lead with that strat.
For the team to get the best possible result, it requires hard work, talent, and passion.
Let our team at Cellino Barnes help you get the best possible result.
Face off to the left of the Avalanche goal and off the draw. Myers tried to jump into the play and he overskates it. Here comes Talbot. Almost a 2-on-1 setup, but coming back is Billy Leno to get in the way of a potential pass across to Patrick Bordeleau, who jumped in. And the Sabres send Colorado all the way back into their own zone. Delayed penalty coming up against Buffalo as Varlamov has gone to the bench. Talbot left wing to the Buffalo line, can't get around Myers, and here we go again. Buffalo will be shorthanded, and now John Scott on the ice along with Bordeleau. Bordeleau didn't look too serious about getting at big number 32.
Well, John Scott had come together with Max Talbot, and Johnny's just letting John Mitchell know what he thinks about him here. And he's gone to the box for roughing. And Colorado will be going back on the power play for the 50th time today, it seems like.
2 for 5 with the man advantage so far tonight, these Avalanche.
There's the penalty right there. He just gives John Mitchell a little push from behind going up the ice. John and Brennan in the box talking things over. Sometimes this just comes into a pride thing. You just go out and a lot of times I can remember the days when you used to do this in a game like this when things are not going your way, just to go out and try to establish something. You just show that, you know, your team's together, team unity. Yeah, it wasn't your game today, but you know what? You did something to stick yourself together and make you draw it closer as a team a little bit.
Eric Johnson playing at the pointing end of the power play as the Avalanche work it down low. Going over on the far side, Parenteau works it down low. Duchesne, far circle as McGinn and O'Reilly at the post. There's a shot, and Enroth just reached the blocker up. That was a high blast. And the Sabres send the Avalanche packing back into their own end. 1:30 remaining in this power play. 5-1 if you're just joining us. Colorado with the lead. 16:40 to go. Period number 3. Sabres wrapping up this 2-game trip after the win in Phoenix. Here's Johnson, right hash marks. Down to the goal line, turns to his backhand. Duchesne in front for McGinn. Oh, what a save. Backhand and Enroth. Got the left shoulder up to knock it down. 3-on-2 for the Sabres, shorthanded. Girgensons over the line. He'll drop for Foligno. Foligno backhand to the front of the net. Just doesn't get onto the stick of Girgensons nor Myers. And now it's a 3-on-1 the other way. It's Mitchell carrying. Mitchell pass across and he misses Duchesne. Now Steve Ott with a chance to come back the other way. We're going end to end here. Sabres shorthanded. Steve Ott can't work his way inside. Down to 45 seconds left in this penalty kill for Buffalo. Here's Mitchell left wing to center. He cuts it over the line. Weber tried to knock him down, but Mitchell continues on. Ott now leans on his inside shoulder, forcing the pass to the point. Barry can't keep it in. Flynn gets it outside the blue line before he's bumped off the puck, and the Avalanche have possession again. Benoit left wing over the Buffalo line. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Landeskog, edge of the circle, near side, plays it back to the point. Barry back to Landeskog, who comes to meet the pass. Face-off dot pass down low and off the iron. Mitchell from the slot. Boy, they move it quickly, don't they? 14 seconds to go on the power play.
Well, Jonas Enroth called upon here in this third period. McGinn gets an opportunity standing in front. Great play by Duchesne. Enroth comes up with the big save, and then just right here before the whistle, shot's going to come from the side, and it's going right off the post and up and over John Mitchell.
Face-off won by Mitchell, back to Barry at the point, makes a spin move away from Matt Ellis, still holding the point. Now plays it back to Landeskog. His shot knuckles past the glove of Enroth. 2 seconds to go on the penalty kill. Sabres can't clear. Landeskog keeps it in. McKinnon tries to go cross ice. John Scott one-on-one against Benoit, center ice. He'll get to the blue line and just shoot one right in. Bouncing puck, and Varlamov just able to hold on to that one. The referee's going to finally blow it down. I think Varlamov wanted play to continue on, but he couldn't find it.
Yeah, I think it looks like he got caught up in his equipment somewhere there for a little bit, and then it kind of threw him off, and you're right, then he could not find where that puck went. He's laughing about it right now. The referee's over there talking to him. Sometimes it happens. It's tough to feel that puck sometimes with all that equipment. You don't know where it goes. You think it's in one spot, and if it's not, you're afraid to sometimes make that move because you don't want it to drop to the ice before the whistle goes and somebody have a free shot.
Ask Mike Smith about that.
Yes.
Avalanche in their own end with possession off the draw. Hayda with some room ahead of him on the near circle. Pass up to center ice, tip to the Buffalo line, and in Talbot giving chase, but Ruido gets there first. His clearing pass to Steve Ott outside the Buffalo line. Just a little tip by the captain, and it's sent back in offside. Couple of Avalanche players well ahead of the play. Down to 14:42 left here in period number 3.
Well, our New York Lotto inside the numbers. This is what we're talking about when you start building a team and you get high picks. This is what you're going to get. McKinnon in 2013, first pick overall. Landeskog in 11, second pick overall. Duchesne, third pick overall. And Johnson in 06, first overall. That's why you build a team, and that's how you build a team with young players, young, good, quality players.
Johnson selected by the Blues, of course, in 06, so you acquire those players as well. High picks, and you hope that maybe you turn them into something. Here's O'Reilly playing it back to the Buffalo blue line. Shot from the point, tipped in front by McGinn. Enroth holds his ground to make the save. And the Sabres clear the puck out to center ice. Bouncing puck just inside the Colorado blue line. Sabres can't get possession back in the Avalanche. Left wing pass off the glass and into the Buffalo zone. And then up over the glass into about 5 rows up.
You know what, we've talked about young kids on this Colorado team, how to build a team. There's another way they've done it too. They've gone out, they've got 3 defensemen that average anywhere from 17 to 20 minutes on ice time, and that's Holden, Jenin, and Benoit. These guys came into the league at 26, 31, and 30 years of age, and they had 7, 32, and 42 games of experience. And they step into this situation this year, they become regulars, they become big parts of it. So going out and finding these guys that are some buried in other organizations, not getting a chance, that is sometimes too where you can make the big impact. Not only the young kids, but you go find those guys that they want a chance, and when they get the chance, they make the best of it.
Well, the Avalanche are making the best of their opportunities. They're up 5-1 in the third. Well, when it comes to bringing it every shift all the time, as Rob Ray said, you lean on number 28. It's plays like this. Doesn't matter, Eric Johnson's a big boy. Zemgus Girgensson says you're not going any further in our zone. And he halts his progress with our Karuba Collision. Make the right decision. Insist on Karuba Collision, the official collision repair centers of the Buffalo Sabres. And thankfully, Eric Johnson didn't need any repair as that skate came perilously close. I'm leaving that word alone.
Spit it out.
That's not even coming out.
Tip, tip, tip.
Sabres giving chase into the Avalanche zone. John Scott back onto the ice. Billy Leno, Matt Ellis. The threesome up front right now, trying to keep the puck in the zone. And Scott with a big hit as he caught Bordeleau just inside the blue line. That got everyone standing up here, hoping something extra would happen after that. Not at this point, as Cleese hits the puck outside the blue line to center ice. And there goes Patrick Bordeleau to the bench, so no extracurriculars for now.
Well, he's playing his 100th game here tonight.
Sabres behind their own net, looking to set up, finishing a line change of their own. Agostini, right wing in his own blue line, now to center. He'll lift it in around Hayda. Leno giving chase behind the net. Won't get there ahead of the play by the Avalanche defense. Now McKinnon, right side, takes a shot from the far circle, and Jonas Enroth.
Well, that's all you can do right there. You've seen how you contain a guy like McKinnon with their speed. You just keep him to the outside. You back off, you give him the space, but you give him that chance maybe to take that shot from the outside. but you just keep that stick in a position where he's not going to be able to get by you and cut to the net, and any goaltender is going to make that save from out there.
Face off in the Buffalo zone. McGinn trying to play it back to the point. Out at center ice and now backing up into their own end of the Avalanche. And McKinnon takes a pass inside his own blue line. Quick stop and turn, trying to go up through the middle. Pass over onto the wing, knocked down by Parenteau and played back into Jan Hejda. Now Marcus Foligno on the Buffalo side of center. Left wing pass to the Colorado zone. That's intercepted. Bouncing puck into the Buffalo end. Myers can't clear. Here's Landeskog trailing and firing into the back of the net. Turnover by Buffalo. And these guys will make you pay for it. That's 6-1 in the third.
That's Landeskog's second goal of the night, too. 16th on the season. You just can't make mistakes. You can't turn the puck over and expect not to give up a great scoring opportunity. You see it through almost a 3-on-2 down low here. Billy Leno unable to get back to pick up the third man. You got the D backing right down in on top of Jonas Enroth. And there's a situation right there why you don't have Ryan Miller here in the net in the third period.
Landeskog on Enroth. Both will compete for Team Sweden at the Olympics in Sochi. A little chat about that goal on the plane to make it 6-1, I'm sure. Second time this season, Buffalo's given up 6. Anaheim got 6 on them back in November in California. Buffalo Bandits and McDonald's are offering fans a McDonald's Family 4-pack during the 2014 regular season. Just $89. You get 4 300-level tickets, 40 chicken McNuggets, 4 medium fries, and 4 soft drinks. This package available for all Bandits home games. It can be purchased online at bandits.com.
Well, the Bandits are coming off a 4-goal performance by John Tavares last weekend, playing the Toronto Rock at home tonight at 7:30 at the First Niagara Center.
Always a good rivalry between those two teams. The Colorado Mammoth are home tonight. Once our game is done here, they're going to put the floor down and play a little Mammoth lacrosse. Avalanche shooting into the Buffalo zone. Ruido against the boards. Seeing a lot of the fourth line players, third line, fourth line now for Colorado as well. Here's a shot by Holden, stopped by Enroth with a rebound. Off to his right, played up the boards. Flynn gets it to center. Carried in over the line now by Ennis. Ennis looking to cut to the net, and he lost the puck. Tyson Barrie with the stick check at the last minute. Puck centered in front by Girgensons, goes by everybody. Ennis takes it off the left wing boards. Under the goal line and behind the net. Ennis comes out near side, takes the shot of Varlamov. Holds that post tight. Over on the left shoulder to make the save. Colorado clear just outside the line. It goes off the skate of Max Talbot. And the Sabres looking to take advantage of that, trying to game the zone, but offside as Ruido forced the puck into the Colorado end.
Now this is the case right here. 11:20 left in this third period, being down 6-1. As a coach, there's not a lot you can do. You just hope the guys in front of you, every time they step on the ice, are going to give what they got. And just keep out, keep going, keep working, and trying to make things happen. See Bordereau switch sides here. He did not want to line up on John Scott over there.
John's got a different partner on the other side. And that would be Cleach, and not much going on there for sure as the Avalanche win the face-off and send the puck to the Buffalo zone where Zenon Konopka plays across ice. McBain trying to turn away from the coverage of John Mitchell now. Pass taken by Weber. Ahead to Konopka. That one pass goes off the skate of Bordelot and right in front of Jonas Enroth. Weber will try it again. Left wing pass again, knocked down by Bordelot. Comes right back to Weber. Face off dot, far circle in his own zone. 10:50 to go still here in this third period at 6-1.
Bordelot has the shortest shifts I think I've ever seen of any player. Avalanche in their own end. Ellis giving some pressure on Benoit, forcing a turnover. Marcus Foligno plays it in behind the net. Verone near corner right wing side. Looks back to the point. Myers fires it off the end boards. It does ricochet out front, but Sabres aren't able to get to it. Another shot off the post as Tallinder let one go from the point. Now Myers walks around McGinn, then lost the puck. Verone comes to pick it up far side. Tallinder fires, deflection wide. Foligno's got the loose puck. Coming off the side of the net, plays it up the wall, back to the point. Shot on goal again by Tallinder. That one stopped, and now Matt Duchene trying to clear. He can't. Now McGinn's got some room. Right wing side to center. 3 Avalanche. Landeskog giving chase. Side of the net. Make that O'Reilly open net. McGinn buries it.
O'Reilly to begin. And for the first time this season, Buffalo's given up 7. 7-1.
Now McGinn getting the second of the night. And this was a case right here. You get caught, it's a 3-on-2 situation, and the man coming back through the middle just kind of slowed up and didn't bury his head to end up picking somebody up. And you see Foligno, it sneaks through him. Talliner's the guy coming in as the third man. Doesn't get anybody. And there's just big problems coming back into the zone.
Avalanche fired back in on Jonas Enroth, who just started this third period. For Ryan Miller, who played the first 40. Avalanche with the puck. Right wing side, trying to center for Landeskog. That's broken up. Now Ville Leino at center. Carries it over the line, right wing side. Melo to shield the puck, plays it back to the line. It's kept in. Ruido, no shot yet. A lot of traffic in front of the net, but he couldn't find a lane to get the shot through. Now Cody Hodgson down to the corner. Tyson Barrie, stick check there, wins the puck and skates away for the Buffalo forward. And it's Landeskog left wing, in over the Buffalo line. Cross ice pass, looking for P.A. Parenteau behind the net for McKinnon. Avalanche looking for more. Already with a 6-goal cushion, and Hayda backing up to center ice. Ryan O'Reilly in on that rush, and Rob, you talked about his being a natural center, moving to the wing, and young players being coachable and able to adjust to different positions as Mitchell fires a shot, and the save made by Enroth.
Well, that's what quality young players can do, or quality players in general. If you need them to play a different position, it should not be a big deal. They fill in that role because they adjust, they learn how to play it extremely quick. It's the same game. It's just a matter of going up and down the wall or coming up through the middle of the ice.
Sabres now in behind the Avalanche goal, trying to set it up. Here's Ennis walking out, and again another short side attempt stopped by Varlamov. Now here's Flynn with a chance. Bouncing puck in front, battered away by Varlamov, and it comes all the way out to center ice. Tyler Ennis standing still on the Buffalo side of center and completely gassed, gets to the bench. 8:07 to go, third period. Pass up on the left wing side, looking for Konopka. Tipped, and Varlamov behind the net. Konopka trying to pinch it against the boards and keep it in. He can't. So Tyler Myers, who's logged a lot of ice time for Buffalo here tonight, back into his own end. He's leading as far as amount of time on the ice for the Sabres here this afternoon. Buffalo having trouble clearing over on the far boards. Now they finally get it outside the line. Ellis bumps Barrie. Cleach is bumped out of the play at center ice by Konopka. And now the puck comes here to the near boards, right wing side for Myers. All he can do is just lift it inside the Colorado line. And Holden is there waiting for it. He'll take a return pass between the circles, skate to his own blue line, and lay it off out at center ice. Barrie carries in over the line. He opened the scoring in this game with his 7th of the season. Bordelot, hash marks, right wing side of the Buffalo zone. Cross ice, Holden backhand with a keep in. Nice job to keep it in the Buffalo zone, and the Sabres really chasing the play right now. Landeskog for Bordelot. That goes off the end boards. Verone, nice job to get to that for Buffalo. D'Agostini, a couple of whacks at it to clear. Now Buffalo with 3 skaters doing the best they can to lug those legs in over the line. Here's a chance, far side, cutting in and into the net. Oh my goodness. You talk about driving the net. Marcus Foligno did exactly that. Took the net right off the pegs. Buffalo down 7-1 here in the third. But the Avalanche came hard and came early against Ryan Miller, but I'll tell you what, at this point, Cleach still looking for his first NHL goal. Wouldn't get it on this. Excellent Toyota. Big save by Ryan Miller. Fires up the pad. The glove was there as well. That's our Toyota big save courtesy of that man who will represent Team USA in Sochi, and they'll leave next. Well, not far from now, of course. Buffalo goes home to play at home twice next week, and then a road game in Ottawa, and that's it. Off to the Olympic break.
And Patrick Bordelot's in the box here for holding. Sabres are going on the power play here.
Here's Cody Hodgson walking in over the line. Near circle, fires, rebound off the save. Comes off to the far point. Eroff can't keep it in as he was backing up. Just couldn't keep that puck cradled on the stick. And now all the way back into his own zone. Watched pretty closely by the man we were just talking about, Marc-Andre Cleach. First NHL goal scored tonight. Offside, Buffalo trying to gain the zone. We invite you to join current and former Sabre players and coaches on Saturday, March 1st at First Niagara Center. It's the first inaugural Sabres Unpucked event. Tickets are $35. They're on sale now. For more information on this event or to purchase your tickets, you can log on to sabres.com. More music and hockey. Rod Ray will be playing. You'd be a drummer, wouldn't you? You'd pound the heck out of those drums. You wouldn't even want drumsticks. You'd be animal back here. Here's Ruhwedel. Sabres continuing to work on the power play for another minute. Ruhwedel top of the circle left side. Walks it down to the dot. Now under the circle at the goal line. Pass back up to Leno. Still off this right wing board. Leno keeps the cycle working. Steve Ott's going to fire with traffic in front. Varlamov, nice job to see that through traffic in the backhand by Mitchell all the way down to the Buffalo zone. Oh, Brad May, what is some of the replay?
I think I would be the banjo.
Would you really?
Yeah, Maisie would be a cowbell.
All right, Buffalo to center. 32 to go in this power play. Leno trying to go through the middle of the box, and that's denied. And now here is McBain walking the puck down the wall, plays it behind the net. Leno slipped on the play, trying to get backed up to it, and it's cleared by the Avalanche one more time. 19 seconds to go in this Buffalo power play. And Talbot says, I tell you what, it's going to end right here because he was down ice in a hurry, putting some pressure on Ruhwedel. That will about do it. 5 seconds to go in this power play, and the Sabres are just now going to gain center ice. And now into the Avalanche zone. Possession lost. Bordeleau out of the penalty box. Myers leans on Duchesne just enough to break it up. Following up, O'Reilly. Cross ice pass, and McGinn with a shot. That one stopped by Jonas Enroth this time over at the far post. 7-1, Colorado in the third.
Sabres trailing the Avalanche 7-1 here with 4:32 left in this third period. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Marc-Andre Klitsch, right here, number 24, scoring his first NHL goal here tonight. Congratulations. Big day, big goal, you never forget it.
Face off to the left of Enroth, and McLeod and John Scott lined up side by side. Nothing as of yet. And for Klitsch in that first NHL goal, it took a while to happen as far as his pro hockey career. Drafted in 05, and here we are in 2014, and he finally gets that first. Sabres at center ice with Ellis trying to knock a bouncing puck down, gets it into the Avalanche zone, and Holden puts it off the board and back into the Buffalo end. Shots 37-24, icing called against the Avalanche, and the shots on goal edge goes to Colorado as well at this point.
Well, I have to send out a big thank you to my stats guy here tonight, Buffalonian Daryl Subchuk. Excellent job on the ball.
No, that doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't, but he's been fabulous here today. Couldn't find anybody better.
Face off to the right. There's so many ways you say things kindly to people, you know. Weber from his own zone, pass up ahead. D'Agostini with a tap back. Veroni following up. D'Agostini inside the line takes a shot. Will wide. Delinder from the left point plays it in behind the goal. Veroni lost the puck, and now McGinn for the Avalanche with 3:38 to go. Ahead to Duchesne. Left circle, fires a shot. And the save made by Enroth. Quick pad by the Sabres keeper. Started this third period if you just joined us after Miller played the first 40. Comes back to the Buffalo blue line. Weber now will back up. Will cross ice with the pass, and the Sabres will finish the line change. Marcus Foligno trying to find some open ice. Skates around McGinn in over the Avalanche line, and then we'll try to head to the bench on the line change. McGinn would let him go for a moment. Hodgson lost the puck trying to come out of the near corner. McGinn with a little tip pass. Ryan Wilson to center. He'll shoot it deep. Everybody's carrying short shifts with under 3 minutes to go now in the third, and a 7-1 lead for Colorado. Leno to center for Hodgson. He's in over the line. Drops it off for Ott with a quick shot. Rebound, and Varlamov makes both saves. Benoit plays it. Ben ahead to P.A. Parenteau, right wing side. He stopped for a moment. Now he continues to the Buffalo line and in. Drop to Benoit, and his shot goes high over the net. Off the glass. Billy Leno, far corner. Trying to play it back to Ehrhoff. Lost it for a moment, got it back again, and Buffalo just dribbled the puck down the ice. Sabres will have an off day tomorrow and then practice Monday before the Edmonton Oilers come to town on Tuesday night. Chance to look at their young guns. Here's Holden in over the Buffalo line in the slot. Landeskog shot deflects. Monday night, I'm told. I get my days. I don't know what day of the week is anyway. I know the Super Bowl's tomorrow. That's about it. Here's Brian Flynn with a backhand up through center.
Do you know who's in it?
I sure do. Here's Gergenson's trying to cut back out front. And Varlamov guessing the wrong way for a moment, but Zemgus knocked down behind the net. Here's Weber at his own blue line ahead to center. Ennis near circle, fires, blocker save, Varlamov. Weber comes down far point to keep it in. Puck stays now in the zone by McBain, and near point sends it down to the right wing corner. Pass into the slot, goes off of Weber's stick, who's come down through the slot area to try to keep the puck deep. Holden knocked to the ice, down to 1:18 to go in this third period. Avalanche coming away with it. Talbot. Center ice and in over the Buffalo line. Cross ice pass. Barry off the boards, holds it, fires. Save made by Enroth. The rebound comes to the near boards, and it's just chipped out to center ice. And now makes its way into the Colorado zone. Sabres changing everybody up. John Scott onto the ice here in the last minute of play. Cleese with the tip in from center. Enroth out to leave it. 43 seconds as Myers right wing to center. Both fourth lines out there. As Ryan mentioned, the Avalanche kind of substituting, taking turns on different players playing on the fourth line along with McLeod and Bordeleau today. We've seen the likes of Jamie McGinn getting some time on the fourth line. John Mitchell at times as well. 16 seconds to go. Sabres gain the zone. Here's Myers trying to go through the middle. Following up with a shot. Zenon Konopka and Varlamov with perhaps the exclamation mark makes the save.
Well, we talked about Varlamov being quick. It's a good example right here as this puck comes in. Zenon Konopka is going to just take a wrist shot as the puck's laying there, and boom. Nice quick glove hand makes that save.
10 seconds to go in the face-off in the Avalanche zone. Sabres, Verone for Ehrhoff with a shot, and that one goes wide, and that'll do it. Puck leaves the zone, and a smack of the stick on the ice by Jonas Enroth. And a game to forget for the Sabres, but hey, on a two-game road trip, you go into Phoenix and pick up a win. You come here facing a young team that was just waiting for you, playing their last home game before the Olympic break, and the Avalanche did not disappoint.
No, you're right, but there isn't much to say about this hockey game other than the Sabres have got to be glad it's over, especially, as you said, the two goaltenders, Enroth and Miller, because they didn't get a ton of help, especially early in this hockey game.
Well, you saw and heard a lot about Nathan MacKinnon today and the stars of the Avalanche, and I think, as Rob Ray pointed out during the broadcast, if you draft well, this is what you get, and it doesn't come easy. You ask people here in Colorado and in Denver specifically, there have been a few lean years of late after they had their successes with, of course, Patrick Waugh between the pipes. But they've been patient enough to wait for this, and now it's pretty fun to watch. Hey, speaking of fun to watch, with our post-game wrap-up, Brian Duff and Brad May.
Dan, thanks. We'll look forward to seeing you on Monday for that game against the Oilers. And certainly here, Brad, it turned out to be the most lopsided loss of the season for Buffalo. I'm not sure you could have anticipated it based on how they played against Phoenix, but where did you see it getting away from them and how quickly?
Well, you know what? Quickly. It was quickness of the Colorado Avalanche that made a difference here. You just look at the forwards up front. You got Nathan MacKinnon, blazing speed. Landeskog was all over the puck. Jamie McGinn was a finisher today. And then, of course, Matt Duchene had a couple of highlight reel plays as well. So the Colorado Avalanche played awfully well today, showed their speed, and Buffalo gave them too many opportunities.
And leads us to our Lexus leader on this day, and without a doubt, it's last year's #1 overall selection. The first three-point game of his career, it's Nathan MacKinnon. He scored once, set up two, and look at the ice time. That's the beauty of the Avalanche team. It's not like you're leaning on Nathan MacKinnon to play 19 to 22 minutes a night.
No, they're not. They win by committee. They score by committee. Throughout their lineup, their power play was pretty solid. And the one thing about this team, their goaltender was pretty good too.
He certainly was. 7-1 the final after they got into a run-and-gun game with Minnesota the other night. It was all run for the Avalanche. One way, 7-1. They win.